All right, let's start off with agenda item 9 was the city council election plans so that everybody knows what's going on. On April the 22nd, 2014, that's when the city had settled with Shakeman and Company as the suit for the Voter Rights Act. And what they did was they had initially talked about moving the election and using cumulative voting, but the state would not certify an election with cumulative voting, so they went back and said they were going to just move the election. So on April the 24th, they passed City Council Ordinance 1403, and it moved the date of the election from April of even-numbered years to November of even-numbered years, which of course is going to be our presidential election. And the polls here in Santa Clarita were pledged to be open between 7 a.m. and 8 p.m. on election day like the rest of the state. So for our city council election, the city council candidates have not filed as of yet. The filing period will be open on Monday, July the 18th, and it's going to close on Friday, August the 12th, giving the candidates about a month. The cost has not been released yet. We don't know what the cost is going to be at this time. If an incumbent doesn't file within that time period, then the filing periods will be extended for an additional 5 days to Wednesday, August the 17th, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think both Mr. Keller and Mr. Boyson will file, and then we'll close by the 12th. So now what they had to do was they had to go back and they had to get LA County Board of Supervisors to approve the consolidation with the statewide general election by election law. And on March 24, 2015, the LA County Board of Supervisors approved the city's request. Besides filing, the election code allows each candidate to prepare a statement to be printed in the sample ballot statement. I hope they do a better job of getting that information out than they did for the primary. I don't know about you guys, but I received my ballot pamphlet about 2 days or 3 days before the actual election itself. And so if you were a vote-by-mail voter and you voted by mail fairly soon after things got, you never saw the ballot statements. So anyway, the city then is allowed to estimate the cost of printing these ballot statements, and they require each candidate filing a statement to pay in advance to the city, which they always want you to pay in advance, so that's nothing new. And then any unused deposit will be refunded within 30 days. At the last election, anybody want to guess what the unused deposit was? I guess you know. And in the event of an underpayment, they'll bill us. So, actually, last year, at the last election, I filed a ballot statement, which is printed in English. And then for every language that I wanted to translate it into, it cost another $250. So by election law also, depending upon the demographics of the area, when a certain demographic is large enough, then they'll allow it to be translated. So at the last election, they allowed translations in Spanish, in Vietnamese, and in Korean. So that's what they did. Okay, so what's happened is now that the staff recommended they approve the amendment to city council election, the summer recess and the holiday recess policy. They have a city council policy. I didn't put it in here, but they actually had a policy document that they thought was interesting, because I'd really like to know how many others they have. But it specified the election date, and it specified when the summer hiatus and the recess was. And they estimated that the cost of the election to the city, the financial impact to the city, would be $181,000, which is about the same as it was last time. That's not much different. So that's what's going to happen as far as the election.
I just wanted to know if the county is going to count the ballots or the city is going to count the ballots, because there's been some pretty big issues over the city counting the ballots. And I think it would be better if it went to the county, and I wonder if there was any discussion about that.
Well, I think in actuality, since this is going to be consolidated on the county ballot, it'll be just like the primaries. The county will collect and count the ballots. Although they were able to collect the ballots twice a day. So in the middle of the day, the polls shut down for a little bit, and they took half the ballots and sent them downtown, and then at the end of the day, they sent the rest. And the county was the one that counted, and I'm sure the county is going to be counting again.
And I have one more suggestion, and that is I would like to suggest that the Canyon Country Advisory Committee write a letter to the Register Recorder and copy it, or to the Board of Supervisors, because I think they have control over the head of the Register Recorder. A lot of people had those issues with getting late ballots. I mean, I never got mine either. And last time when I was on the ballot, I never got it at all.
Okay.
So something is going on that has not happened in the past. I've never, and I wanted to do a mail-in, and by the time I got my ballot, I'm not a permanent absentee, by the time I got my ballot and mailed it back in, I never got the absentee packet until the day before, so it was lucky I was in town. Mm-hmm. So I just think as a community group, it might be a good thing to write and say, you know, what's happening, everybody's getting their pamphlets late.
Well, we certainly can do that. That's something we can do. I don't think we had any problem. And we saw the problems that occurred, so I think we can do that also. Any other questions about the election?
Well, I'll just comment that one of the things I found during the Measure E campaign was that the campaign finances are kept down in Norwalk. And to get those, you have to drive down there to pick them up. They're not put online. That puts a huge burden on people to learn where the money's coming from.
Okay, I think in this case, because I asked where we're filing, and they said we're filing at City Hall. I believe that if that's true, the 460s will go to City Hall also. But I'm going to make sure by next month, I'll let everybody know. I will ask and see if I can get a commitment as to where the filing is, whether the 460s will continue to be filed at City Hall, not Norwalk, and what the cost is going to be. Okay?